fellow travelers, and welcome to the Versus Stars podcast. All my loyal listeners, thank you for your continued support. And remember, click that subscribe button, everybody. This is a very special episode because Jorge Garcia boards the mothership. You know him as Hurley on Lost. Now appears in Condors Nest. Come on board as we go traversing the stars. Hello, Mr. Garcia. Thank you so much for coming to the Traversing Stars podcast.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
This is a complete honor, sir. I was a huge fan of Lost, so thank you so much.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
So I always start off with a question of inspiration. What inspired your love of acting and who your earliest influences?
Oh man, my love of acting. I mark Raiders of the Lost Ark and Fiddler on the Roof as two influential moments that kind of made me want to be an actor. I'd even throw the old Clash of the Titans in there. That just kind of those are like movies that impressed me that I would act out, perform, or sing from as a kid, and that probably was like one of the first steps of just me like just kind of wanting to live out fantasies and get attention.
Detention is always an important part. So I read that you study communication at UCLA. So how does the skills that you learned in communications now making you a great actor?
It's a good question. It definitely, especially like the stuff about mass communication. I don't know if it affects my acting, but it definitely sometimes makes me think about things when we're doing them, a certain projects or something like that. I'm like, ooh man, this is very violent. Ooh, I hope children don't watch this, or things like that. That does enter into it sometimes. Beyond that, it was more after college, and I actually entered an acting class at the Beverly Hills Playhouse is where I kind of really started like getting the skills and the confidence to pursue this as a career.
Mm. So what did they teach you about acting at the Beverly Hills Playhouse?
Man, okay, that's interesting. There's a lot of acting is about getting out of your own way. For example, having access to my emotional self, for example, I guess would be something. It just kind of just gave you a place to kind of work out your skills and so that you have some experience working on things, preparing scenes, putting them up, that when you do get opportunities out in the business that you can deliver on them. And it also taught a lot about how your attitude affects your success and your longevity often in the business. And they also were big on pushing how to administrate a career, because at the beginning, most of the hustle and the work you got to do it yourself. And they definitely kind of like had other aspects of that in it.
Well, it definitely worked because you were in the movie Condors Nest, which is absolutely awesome, and you played the proprietor Hippolito. So what were you told about the character upon earning the role, and what interested you about the character?
They sent the script through my people, and I gave it a read, and I thought the script was good. I mean, Hippolito is a small part, but I liked the overall story. I thought it was well told, it kept my interest, and it was intriguing. I then looked up the director, and I found kind of a clip or highlight of his previous project, and I was impressed at his ability to get some pretty great production value on was probably a very small budget. And so I thought, yeah, sure, I'll come and help this guy tell the story and do my little bit. And that's kind of how it came about.
So when you work with the director who's also the writer, can you tell a difference? Is it better to work with a director who's also behind the script?
Well, it can go either way. Um, there's there's a certain the that's definitely a tough call because there are definitely some directors that are very precious with their material, and then there are other directors that are like it's just part of a thing, and they're really good at like, oh, this doesn't work, they can get rid of it. And so it's definitely case by case, person to person. Phil was a great problem solver on set, and definitely was he you felt he commanded the room pretty well.
So what was it about Hippolyto that you were able to grasp onto that character and make it yours?
Well, I like because it's South American, and it was like he was described as having a Castilian accent, which I thought was great because I was able to then reach out to my cousin who lives down in Chile and have him to record my lines so I could kind of hear him how he says it to kind of have his accents, because accents is not something one I get to do very often, and I'm not the most confident with them. And confidence is perhaps the most important part when you're doing an accent, and the thing is that you do it confidently. And so kind of hearing him say the things, kind of like, okay, good, and like being like, all right, but this is like, because very much about how like to figure out how you want to say something first, and then trickle the accent for flavor
Mm,
afterward. So it's not, because sometimes you find an actor can fall into a trap where the whole character is the accent.
mm.
And so in that sense, I was able to kind of like get to, okay, so this is where this sounds different. This is where how he says this. I was like, and I'm working with that. Also, just kind of giving me another kind of reason to reach out and connect with my cousin down there.
Mm. So what was the movie shot on that location, or was it shot like in North America? Where was it shot?
Yeah, it was shot in North Carolina. Um, and it was quick. I mean, it was like I was like I flew in, worked, and flew out. In fact, they lost my luggage, and I didn't get my luggage back till I was already home again.
Oh my
It
god.
was a super short trip.
That must have been disorienting for you.
A little.
So was this shot during COVID, and how did that affect things?
It was well, I had just not that long ago, I'd finished shooting. I was shooting the Monsters in Budapest, and so there was a having already kind of been out there and worked and and I already had, back then it was just the two shots, and that I had a bit more confidence, and I was like, all right, this is more manageable, and I don't need to be holed up at home all the time, which is
Mm,
kind of like what I was doing. And so, and I figured, all right, I got my max. I'll stay protected, and I'm coming in for one day. Be, I'm not gonna be doing too much sightseeing. I'm just kind of gonna go and do my little bit and come home. I was like, all right, I think this is manageable, and it worked out. I never caught it. I don't know if they ever had a in the rest of the production, if that ever hit anybody, but they're also very good. They tested everybody upon arrival on set, and yeah, I felt that they were being careful about it.
so the story centers around Will Spaulding's quest for revenge against a Nazi colonel named Colonel Bach. So how does where does Hippolyto fit into Spaulding's quest?
Well, I guess Hippolyto, it kind of mainly is that he the guy for basically as a foreigner to it just kind of like disrupts a little moment in the bar. And that's kind of his bit, I guess. Yeah, I might not be the most crucial bit in the thing as far as like uh uh twisting the plot, but it's a moment, and you kind of get to see the kind of guy that he is.
when you get that moment as an actor, how fun is it to like to own that moment and be like the star at that moment?
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's kind of listen. This is the basically getting the script and reading the part, and the part that I felt in a way like going, listen, I like the story. I would love to help him tell this story, and for the purpose of telling the story, he wants me to do this bit of it, and I'm happy to do it because of the belief in the project, and that's kind of all everything was about.
So, how excited are you for fans to get the chance to watch Condor's Nest?
It's great. I love it for any opportunity that fans get to see me on screen. I feel like uh I've been away for a bit in many aspects when there was like a lot of stuff slowed down during the beginning of the pandemic, and that was pretty early on that we shot it and everything. That it was just kind of just kind of cool to keep getting to surface and having people. I think it's more entertaining that the fans that will watch it and then discover me in it is gonna be probably more fun for me.
So, what's next for you?
Coming up now, I'm about to start a new series that's called How to Be a Bookie.
Oh,
It's for HBO.
oh, very cool. When's that? You just started filming it, or is it about to come out?
We haven't started filming yet. We're about to do a table read in a few weeks. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that means as far as when it comes out, but it's something to look out for.
Oh, very cool. When it's ready to talk about it, please come back on the show, Mr. Garcia. You've
Sure, right on.